Oh god. Oh, for fuck's sake. Wait, no. What the fuck? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, fucking hell. I'm dying. Hi, my name is Nacho, welcome back to my channel. And on this video, I'm gonna try something different. Given that YouTube doesn't let me ride that algorithm wave, I'm gonna try some more physical humor. Waterboarding is not enjoyable, but my decision to sit through this movie kinda made me feel that I would prefer it over the latter. Now, live actions are known to miss the mark a lot of the times, anime live actions even more. I mean, Dragon Ball Evolution was referred to as the worst thing Americans have done to Japanese culture since, you know. So one day I was scrolling through my recommended movies on this website when my eye caught a glimpse of this, and I immediately knew how bad it was. I could smell it.
It's the smell, if there is such a thing.
Knights of the Zodiac is the live-action adaptation that never should have existed of a classic Japanese manga and anime called Saint Seiya, and I love Saint Seiya. From the music, the character arcs, the armor designs, the power-ups, the attacks, everything was so cool about it, and I had the Mexican voiceover growing up, and those people, both singers and voice actors, just shaped my childhood. So I already had a dog in this fight when I decided to review this movie, but way before we even go into the film, two things tell you everything you need to know about it. Number one, Sean Bean is in it,
Bastard.
which to be honest was the only thing I was excited about. Number two, Femke Jensen is in it.
I mean, how the fuck you say this guy's name?
Yeah, Jean Grey. I thought she retired. And bonus number 3, Seiya's armor looks nothing like the original, so you know that the people making this did not give an ounce of respect to the source material. My prediction going into this is that they were gonna give it a weird spin-off or very superficially set up the 12 Houses arc without giving any sustenance to the story for people to be hooked by it. But then I watched the movie, and everything I just said and worse was confirmed to me, and this movie is utter trash.
Know your fucking place, trash.
I'll give you a quick summary of the plot. Seiya is a K-pop dancer fighter little pussy boy who's trying to find her sister, which is canon to the story. What's not canon is that her sister is now named Patricia.
What do you know about my sister?
She thought it was Patricia.
What did she do to her?
Patricia. Wait, no. Is Seiya. You kept the name accurate. Please don't tell me you named her Patricia. Seiya is Japanese, and her sister's original name is Seiko, another Japanese name. So why the fuck would you name her Patricia? I imagine the meeting where they decided to rename her Patricia going something like,
"Hey boss, so my daughter was just born. Her name's Patricia. Can we have a self-insert in the movie?"
Sure. We're not making any money out of this, so fuck it.
Seiya's fighting in an underground fight club managed by a guy named Cassius. Yeah, that Cassius. So right off the bat, we've diverted miles away from the original story. Cassius fights Seiya because he's angry and beats the absolute shit out of him. Yep, that Cassius, until Seiya unconsciously taps into his cosmos, which is the inner power of the story, and pushes him away before running out of the cage. That's when Sean Bean appears, conveniently, rescuing him from the bad guys slash girl Jean Grey and his army of Robocops, and takes him to meet Sayori, renamed Sadie or some shit, in a poorly rendered mobile phone game sequence. This guy says, "I'll keep them off," gets defeated in a single blow, gets taken by the enemy, we never see him again until later on the film for like half a minute, and literally no one mentions he's been taken. No one. Not even Sean Bean, and he works for him. I finished the film, and I still couldn't figure out who that guy was. Seiya learns that wannabe Sayori is the reincarnation of Athena, and she occasionally bursts into destructive ways of Cosmos.
She could kill you right now! I'm here, sweetheart. Just relax.
What the fuck? Oh my god, how do they take the source material and do this? They had...
the body of a mortal.
Absolutely nothing like what happens in the anime, and he has to protect her at all costs. Sean Bean, in all of his wealth, has gathering knights for that, only managing to get one so far, and sends him to train with Marin in a different island. Now there's this scene when Marin explains what Cosmos is and asks Seiya to break a stone with his bare fist, which he fails in his first attempt. Now in both stories Seiya is an orphan. In the original one he decided to become a Knight of Athena as a mean to find her sister, but he also wanted to become one. Now that's something they completely changed, because the new Seiya is this cool, good looking guy that didn't ask to become a knight, but I'm gonna do it cause my sister and shit.
I never asked to be a knight.
You kinda did. I'm sorry, but you kinda did. You kinda did from a very early age. I'm sorry, brother, but you kinda fucking did. You're not Seiya otherwise. And does the same bullshit wire work that works so great for DBZ Evolution. They both eventually figure out how to use Cosmos to break the rock. This is the new Seiya breaking the rock. And this is old Seiya. Also, old Seiya did that when he was 13 years old. Another huge difference is that the original Seiya earned the armor of the Pegasus after beating Cassius, yep, that Cassius, and almost 500 other fighters, instead of the new version where her sister had a pendant all along. So the extensive training and effort and tenacity that represented becoming a Knight of Athena and earning the armor went completely out the window because your sister can just give it to you and you just have to figure out how to open it. They didn't even do it from the bottom up. The feet are always first. The rest of the story is pretty boring really. No one has a clear intention of what they want to do with Athena. Her mom Gurad, Jean Grey, wants to kill her but later doesn't, and the Diego dude, the Phoenix Knight. Really? This guy is supposed to be Ikki? Fucking this guy? This wannabe Batman cocksucker? He's the one that carries out the plan that Gurad originally had to kill her daughter because he's evil. The original Ikki was not evil. He wanted to get revenge from the people who basically forced him to leave his brother behind and sent him to get tortured at a very young age to become a knight, separating him from his younger brother Shun, who was originally going to be sent out to get the Phoenix armor until Ikki stepped in. He's basically the poster child for PTSD and one of my favorite knights, to be honest. Why take such a layered character and make him a one-dimensional bad guy who is just there to give the protagonist someone to fight against? Because Robocop Cassius gets his ass whooped in 2 seconds. It's pretty fucking pathetic if you ask me. Also, Sean Bean, the tech billionaire who has to protect his daughter at all costs to prevent the end of the world, knows what sort of soldiers and tech his ex Gurad has at her disposal and yet has fuck all security in his mansion that gets overrun hilariously easy to the point that he has to blow himself up in order to fend off the attackers. Unsuccessfully, I must add. Fast forward to the end, Athena ends up destroying a bunch of shit. Both Pussy Boy Seiya and Emo Ikki survive, because we need them for the fucking sequel. Like that's ever gonna happen. And like I said, Sean Bean does die midway through the film, which is the only respectable thing about it, because they respected Sean Bean's lore. There's little I can compliment about this film. Some of the CGI looks nice, and Marin's armor is somewhat faithful, and that's it. They didn't come anywhere close to any of the arcs. They used as much of the characters. They didn't even use the music. There's the faintest beat 15 minutes in. The original soundtrack for Saint Seiya had to be one of the best original soundtracks ever made. There's a theme song for literally fucking everything that happens on the series. The armors look so plastic and cheap. They got Ikki's feathers right, which you can't really fuck up, and he used them as throwing stars. And what the fuck is that mouthguard? Get the fuck out of here, trash!
Trash!
Seiya's one red shirt goes through so much shit and only rips when faced with the wrath of a goddess. Talk about product placement. They had a semi-accurate outfit for like half a second before reversing to the boring ass red shirt and Levi's. And like many other films like this that should have never existed, the question of how much did this cost came to me at the end. How much does this movie cost? I'm extremely curious. This movie cost $60 million? Are you fucking kidding me? This movie cost $60 million. What? Someone invested $60 million in this and got... Oh, okay, hold on. Didn't cost $60 million. Didn't say at the beginning. Don't tell me it's a second one. They're making 6 movies? Okay, 10 million. Still, that's 10 million. Too much. Let me give you the perfect pitch they should have used for this movie. A guy called the Grand Patriarch wants to rule the world and wants a young woman dead because she's the reincarnation of a goddess destined to save mankind, and a bunch of young men have to save her while fighting a diverse cast of old men in gold armor, and one of the young men looks like this. And he also does shit like this. End pitch. Now pitch that, word for word, to any CEO in any major streaming service in America, and you will literally get unlimited funding. You would have get a black credit card that only reads Slay King. That would have been a possibility if the creators of this knew anything about the original story. Not that it would have changed anything. Saint Seiya, as well as DBZ, is not a story that you can adapt into film. If anything, it has to be at least an 8 to 12 episode show, and even then it would still probably be shit. They would have gender swapped Shaka with Tita Sweeten so fucking quick, man. If it's true that they were planning on making 6 movies for $60 million, I'd be surprised if someone actually thought that was a good idea and paid for it. If this movie actually cost $60 million, it means that they lost 95% of that, and that would hopefully be enough to deter them from keep trying to make anime adaptations. At least in America. Japanese, they do alright with them sometimes. But the point is that anime is a realm of its own. The type of stories and animation and characters you can have are hard, if not impossible, to translate to real life. That is exacerbated if the people behind the decision desk don't have the slightest clue what they are adapting and treat it like any other fantasy action flick. But Knights of the Zodiac, which feels like a grammatically incorrect title if you ask me, is by far the worst live-action adaptation I have ever seen. And if you feel like wasting 2 hours of your time that you're never gonna get back, I recommend you give it a go. But if you watched this far into the video, leave us a like, let me know in the comments down below which is your favorite knight from Saint Seiya, Shaka or Virgo. And as always, I've been Nacho, hope you enjoyed the video, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Why did you rip Seiya's shirt off and not hers? Even though she literally changed into goddess form, including her clothes, and went back. How did the clothes remain intact? You see? Double standards. Bullshit.